Okay, so this would be another discussion for the COC1 demonstration. This time, ito yung mas preferred ko actually na method, no? Yung record nyo or ipapakita nyo mismo that you are doing the demonstration. Kahapon po kasi, that is just you sharing your screen to have that COC1 demonstration. So this time, you would be simulating the whole COC1 demonstration process. So yun yung difference niya. And of course, I would actually prefer it kasi buo po yung nakikita ko when you are doing the COC1 demonstration. Hindi lang po yung screen, which is in this case, kung ano lang yung naka-project dun sa TV niya. So makikita mo from start to finish kung ano yung expected sa inyo apart from the screen. So yun, napakahalaga po kasi na makita po natin yung ibang aspeto pa ng paggagawa ng or pagde-deliver ng COC1 demonstration. So before we start, is everything clear po ba or need ko pong magpalit ng device para mas marinig niyo po ako? Hello?
Clear naman, sir.
Klaro naman po, Mr. Alexander. Anybody else po? Pa-clarify lang para hindi sayang yung recording natin.
Sir, di ko po alam kung sa akin lang. May time po na humina po yung audio niya po. Tapos biglang babalik sa clear, tapos biglang lalabo po ulit.
Sige, baka nakadodge kasi itong ano to. So, sige, mag-ano na lang ako. Mag-i-speaker na lang ako, tsaka yung microphone na lang ulit ng laptop yung gagamitin ko ha, paantay lang po. How about now? Mas malinaw na po yung mic? Mas okay po ito kaysa dun sa kanina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige, dito na lang tayo mag-usap. So yun, as mentioned earlier, this time we will be focusing on the COC1 demonstration, the holistic aspect of it. So ano yung nakikita maliban dun sa screen mo and ano yung mga kailangan mong ipakita din as the demonstrator of the said demonstration. So of course, si COC1 na magde-demonstrate po dito is the one in the middle, yung girl po in the middle. Siya ang magde-demonstrate ng COC1. While of course nag ano siya no, kumuha siya ng kanyang trainee, which is in this case yung nakaupo. Okay? So before we start, di ba the very first part of the COC1 demonstration rubrics is actually the preparation. So kung makikita niyo po, observe natin yung still frame of the video. Unang-una, kompleto po siya ng gamit on the left side. Nandyan po yung kanyang mga calculators, yung mga journals niya and other materials na kanyang gagamitin. No? So ang qualification niya po by the way is bookkeeping NC3. So kaya medyo minimal lang yung kanyang tools, materials, and equipment. But regardless, there is a station po talaga dapat for you to provide, no, na para magkaroon po ng station yung demonstration practical work. Okay? So maliban sa tools, materials, and equipment, you have to have the facilities na ma-ready. So ano-ano yung mga facilities na yon? Yung 9 CBT areas. So kung naka-laptop kayo, mababasa nyo actually yung mga nakapaskel dyan. Nakalagay po ba? Nakikita po, distance learning area ito, learning resource area ito, kung nasan yung mouse cursor ko, quality control area, support service area, institutional assessment area, nasa likod niyo contextual learning laboratory, at meron po ditong practical work area na nakalagay. Dito sa side na to. Okay? So those are the 9 CBT areas that you have to post or paskel when you will be doing the COC1 demonstration on the National Assessment for Trainers Methodology Level 1. So part po kasi yan ng ginegrade ng inyong mga assessors come the national assessment. So maliban po sa 9 CBT areas, try ko lang i-move para mas makita nyo dun sa part na hindi siya nakaharang dun sa parang board sa likod niya. Ito pong part na to, yung nasa gitna, progress chart at achievement chart po yan. So later, i-utilize na yan when she is monitoring the progress of her trainees. And ito namang isang maliit lang na ito is the training activity matrix. So i-utilize ng trainer yan para malaman kung ano yung schedule for the day natin during the training proper and the institutional assessment. So parang through demonstration, may utilize niya din po yan. Bukod po doon, pagka po pinlay ko na yung video, ang una pong maririnig ninyo na babanggitin niya is that pinrepair na po niya lahat ng ito. So yun, makakadagdag po yun in the event that hindi physically nag-observe ang inyong assessors or yung REPMs po for TM1, mas maganda po na verbally i-declare din po natin that you have already prepared of the necessary tools, materials, and said equipment for your given qualification and for your given training process. So yun yung pinaka-first vital part of the whole COC1 demonstration. So labas naman yun sa 30 minutes natin. So ang mahalaga, kompletuhin at alamin kung talagang appropriate in working order ang inyong gagamiting tools, materials, equipment, resources, props, even the facility na mga sign po na yan. Naintindihan po with me so far before we start playing the video? React po, kahit react lang, kahit wag mag-unmute. Makikita ko naman po pag kami nagre-react. Okay, thank you, Miss Ofalda. So yun, i-start na natin yung COC1 demonstration niya. Pero tingnan nyo 28 minutes niya ginawa totally yan. So within the reasonable time period of 30 minutes yan. And of course, may mga in-skip siya ng konti kaya medyo tinapos siya ng about 1.5 minutes. So tingnan natin, i-play natin, then we go on from there, no? Kung ano yung mga pwede kong i-add up while she's doing the demonstration. At the same time, ano yung mga good na ginawa niya, ano yung mga kailangan idagdag, etc. If you have questions then, you may unmute yourselves. I will try my best to hear it, no? Medyo malakas lang talaga yung ulan. Kaya ang nagiging problem ko is mahina yung speaker kasi ng laptop ko. Kaya tinry kong mag-earphones kanina. Pero nonetheless, I will try my best to hear you whenever you unmute yourself at kung may katanungan at we need to clarify. Sige po, start na po tayo.
Calculator, journals, pencils, ball pens, erasers, staple wires, stapler, envelopes. Good morning, everyone. Before any
So yan, as mentioned, no, verbally, i-declare mo that you have already prepared all of the necessary tools and materials for your qualification before you start. Nag-start yung 30 minutes when you say good morning. Let's continue.
anything else, can we have our opening prayer? Can you please stand? In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, good morning once again and welcome, trainees. Welcome to Bataan School of Fisheries. It is located at Daan Bago, Orion, Bataan, a TESDA accredited training center. So Bataan School of Fisheries is a technical vocational institution which undertakes specialized training for TESDA-accredited programs such as Food Processing NC2, Aquaculture NC2, and many others. And my name is Raquel.
So yun, since mentioned na rin yesterday on the previous na ating lecture on COC1 demonstration, it is not necessary or it is not important to actually provide a school background. But of course, for simulation, no, yung pagiging totoo ng inyong simulation, mag-provide pa rin naman. Pero nakita niyo naman kung gaano lang kaigsi ang kanya pagpo-provide ng school background. Ang naging problem kasi, since limited time yung 30 minutes COC1 demonstration, yung iba before, ang nangyayari, talagang yung school background ng eskwelahan nila ang pinoprovide during the COC1 demonstration. So, ang nangyayari, may school background pa ng yung history, pinapakilala yung may-ari, yung storya ng buhay ng may-ari, mission, vision, 'di ba? It will take up much time and pwede nyo naman siyang gamitin once you are really trainers na of your qualifications. So dito, since hindi nga siya ganun nagmamatter, pero nonetheless, you have to provide pa rin, no, for para maging reality yung inyong yung COC1 demonstration, realistic rather. So pwede naman. So kung napapansin nyo, within a full minute, 59 seconds na itong nasa ibaba, nakapag-check na siya ng tools, materials, and equipment, nakapag-welcome na siya ng trainees, nakapag-start na siya ng COC1 demonstration, at nakapag-school background pa siya. Nakapag-opening prayer pa nga siya. So, ganun lang. Huwag nating i-rush. Huwag nating i-drag yung mga bagay-bagay. Pero nonetheless, kailangan natin silang ipakita for us to actually provide a more realistic approach on the COC1 demonstration. Mahalaga pa rin naman po na porket hindi po ba nasa rubrics ng mga assessor natin, ng bagay na to ay hindi na po ba natin ito gagawin. For the sake of maging realistic ang inyong COC1 demonstration, gawin pa rin, pero wag i-emphasize. Okay, let's continue.
Belmonte, and I will be your trainer for bookkeeping NC3. Okay, now let me first check your attendance. As I call your name, please say present. Mr. Cruz?
Present, ma'am.
Mr. Dizon?
Present.
Okay. So now, I will administer the pre-assessment tools. I have here data gathering tools.
So what she will actually do this part is each of the document, i-explain niya kung ano yung purpose, tsaka niya ibibigay. And of course, pagkabigay niya or pagka-administer, si trainee, yung nag-act out as trainee niya, will simulate na talagang sinasagutan niya ang binigay po na pre-assessment or pre-training assessment tools. Okay? So after that, may nominal duration din pala, by the way, no? Tingnan natin kung ano yung next niyang gagawin. Pero napakahalaga po, yung physical act of the explanation and yung pagbibigay mismo ng pre-training assessment tools sa inyong mga part.
This is just for me to know a little about your background, knowledge, and experiences so that your training will be customized and individualized according to your needs. Please pass. I will give you 20 minutes to answer. Okay, time's up. You're done. Can I have the paper, please? Thank you. Next is the self-assessment checklist. This is just for me to know if you have relevant competencies related to the qualification. So please answer this. I will give you again 20 minutes to answer. Okay, are you done? Please pass. Thank you. Okay, so based on the forms that I have here.
So, what happened is, sineparate niya yung trainees characteristics, self-assessment, checklist as pre-training assessment tools. So pwede rin po na ibigay na po natin lahat ng pre-training assessment tools at one go. Pwede po yun. Pero dapat i-explain nyo lahat. So kung para saan si data gathering instrument or si training's characteristics, i-explain mo. Para saan si self-assessment checklist is for the skills, i-explain mo. Para saan si pre-test for the knowledge, i-explain mo. Bago mo ibigay ng sabay-sabay. Hiwa-hiwalay din siya dapat. Mas maganda nga na na-explain siya ng hiwa-hiwalay. Okay? So yun, initially nagpo-provide siya ng feedback na on the pre-training assessment tools. So possible yun. Kasi especially if isa lang naman, no, kasi di ba ang kwento niyan, isa lang yung trainee mo na may prior knowledge. So pwede mo na siyang or maging evident na yung prior knowledge na upon passing of the said pre-training assessment tools. So pwede nyo muna siyang feedbackan. Once again, as mentioned din yesterday, it is not important no yung order of things. You may actually do the pre-training assessment, explanation, administration, and even the feedback na magkakasama before the orientation or even after the orientation. Ang mahalaga po, mai-provide lahat sa inyong demonstration. Let's continue.
Here, it seems that Mr. Cruz has relevant experience on the bookkeeping NC3. Mr. Cruz, do you have your certificate with you? Can you please bring it tomorrow? The bookkeeping NC3. Mr. Cruz, do you have your certificate with you? Can you please bring it tomorrow? Okay, so now I will give you your pre-test or diagnostic test. But don't worry about this test because this is a non-bearing test. This is only to test your prior knowledge about the qualification. Okay, just read the questions carefully and answer the appropriate boxes. Okay,
So one of the most important parts of the explanation of the whole pre-training assessment tools is yun, yung sinabi niya, hindi graded or non-bearing po ang pre-training assessment tools. Kasi in the first place, magtataka ang inyong mga trainees. So bakit ang pinakaunang pinagawa ni trainer on the very first day of the training ay magpa-exam or mag-test? So as mentioned din, when you did the said pre-training assessment tools na ginawa natin through Google Forms, the purpose of the pre-training assessment tools is to gauge your current knowledge and skills when it comes to the said qualification before the training starts. Yun lang naman talaga yung purpose nun. So, part din ng explanation is actually to easen it up. No? So, parang wag nating sabihin na wag kabahan at lalong-lalo na po, wag dayain ang pre-training assessment tools. Bakit? Kasi ang ugali ng Pilipino, pag tinanong mo kung kaya niyang gawin ang isang bagay, especially sa construction yan, ang isasagot ay oo. So pagka ganun ang mindset ng magsasagot, dahil kinakabahan, uy, bakit may exam kaagad? Pagka ba sinabi kong hindi na ba ako itutuloy nitong mga ito? So kailangan mong i-clarify yung part na yun. So you need to clarify that the purpose of the pre-training assessment tools is to just gauge the current knowledge and skills of a trainee versus the qualification para ikaw, si trainer, you will utilize that result as a tool in order for you to know what to teach and how to teach it. Ganun lang po kasimple ang explanation ng pre-training assessment tools. Okay, let's continue.
You may start now. Okay, time stop. You're done. Please pass. Thank you. Okay, before I proceed to the orientation of CBT, I want you to have a facility tour. Are you excited? Okay, can you please get your pen and notebook and follow me? Okay, first we have the Trainers Resource Center. This is the area where you can find us, your trainers, and this is also where the other
As you can see, what she did on the facility tour is, gagawin niya dyan, no? Iikot yan. Lilipat-lipat sila. Each of the 9 CBT areas, lalapitan niya yan. So parang tinutour niya talaga yung trainee doon sa facilities. So in my opinion, pwede. Maganda naman nga na gawin po ang facility tour. But once again, it is not necessary. So possible naman that you can flash the workshop layout on the screen of your smart TV or the projector, then i-map out mo doon yung explanation. Kasi it takes time, no? Kung mapapansin nyo, saan ba siya nagsimula? Nag-facility tour siya dito. 3.5 minutes. Yan, tumayo, 3.5 minutes. Natapos siya ng facility tour around 2 minutes right after. Ang tanong, gaano ba kabigat ang weighing factor ng ng facility tour for your COC1 demonstration? So, wala po. Wala pong weighing factor ang facility tour on your COC1 demonstration. So, but once again, hindi ko siya pinapatanggal. Bakit? Kasi part siya ng orientation. Talaga naman po nagpa-facility tour tayo, di ba? When we provide orientation sa ating mga trainees for them to actually be familiarized, no, sa facilities natin sa training center. That's why hindi ko siya tinatanggal, ipa-scale or i-post or dun sa part ng inyong COC1 demonstration presentation, yung PowerPoint ninyo, ipa-scale doon sa workshop layout. I-explain through the drawing of the workshop layout kung paano mo na-navigate yung training center. Wag mo nang palakarin si trainee pa isa-isa at kunyari nagagala kayo. Okay na po yun. Explain mo lang. Dito po yung ating practical work area and the institutional assessment area. That is where we will have demonstrations. On our left naman po is the learning resource area, contextual learning area, and the distance learning area. So more on knowledge-based and theories na part ng ating learnings ang mangyayari naman po doon. Sa likod naman po natin is the computer laboratory, quality control area, etc. So, kung ganun kabilis, pwede mo nga idagdag actually si restrooms, no? Pwede natin idagdag na yon. At the same time, yung waste segregation natin, yung tatlong trash bins natin na iba-iba kulay for biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and recyclable trash. That way, mas madali yun kesa magkumonsumo ka ng 20 or rather 2 minutes for a basically not that necessary part of your demonstration. Encourage ko kayo na gano'n na lang ang gawin. May workshop layout naman eh. Kasi 'di ba, kapag ako kunyari na designer ako, no? So hindi mo naman mapapakita siya ng ano eh, mas madaling mapakita na siya on plan eh. 'Di ba? Kaysa sa literal. Yung literal kapag i-accept na nandun eh, tsaka siya magiging literal. Pero kaya tayo may plano because that would be a scaled version of the whole facility. So mas madali kung doon tayo magde-discuss doon sa facility layout. And once again, it is basically non-bearing itong part na to ng demonstration. So huwag na natin pahirapan ang ating sarili. Okay? Sige, let's continue.
area. This is where you acquire your knowledge and skills. This is also where you tell about the facilities. Okay, Nan? Okay, so please go back to your seats and let us proceed to the orientation of CBT. So what is competency-based training orientation? So here are the points that I'd like to share with you. First is the qualification overview, definition of CBT, 10 principles of CBT, comparison between traditional teaching and CBT, the roles of CBT trainer, the roles of CBT trainees, and the competency-based learning materials. So for the qualification overview, Bookkeeping NC3 is under Health, Social, and other Community Development Services sector. The Bookkeeping NC3 qualification consists of competencies that a person must achieve to enable him or her to journalize transactions, post transactions, prepare trial balance, prepare financial reports, and review internal control system. And once you are competent with this qualification, you can land a job as accounting clerk or bookkeeper. So Bookkeeping NC3 has 6 basic competencies such as lead workplace communication, lead small teams, develop and practice negotiation skills, solve problems related to work activities, use mathematical concepts and techniques, use relevant technologies. And we have 4 common competencies: apply quality standards, perform computer operations, maintain an effective relationship with clients and customers, and manage own performance. And for the common competencies, we have 5 core competencies. First is journalize transactions, post transactions, prepare trial balance, prepare financial reports, and review internal control system. So what is competency-based training? It is a training delivery approach that focuses on the competency development of the learner as a result of a training. And what are the 10 principles of CBT? So the learning is competency-based or modular in structure. So we let the learner become competent on the first competencies before moving on to the next competencies. Next, the training delivery is individualized and self-paced. So we let the learner learn by himself, or it is learning by doing. Next, the system allows recognition of prior learning. So if you already have the competency, show me your certificate and I will validate it through written test, demonstration, and oral questioning. And if I found you competent, you can now move on to the next level of competency. And the training program are registered in UTPRAS, or the Unified Tibet Program Registration and Accreditation System. Now, what is the difference between traditional teaching and CBT? In traditional teaching,
So what she actually did during the principles of CBT is namili siya talaga ng tatlong CBT na i-discuss. So that would be okay. But for me, I would like for you to course through the whole 10 na CBT principle. Basahin yung 10 yon at mag-explain lang po ng tatlo. So yun, so what is competency-based training? Why the competency-based approach? Tsaka yung qualification overview is not part of the, once again, the rubrics of the COC1 demonstration, but nonetheless, you have to discuss it pa rin.
Sir, may
Kasi
question
talaga
na po.
po, yun ang mga integral parts, di ba, of your orientation kapag kayo po ay mga trainers na po talaga. So, wag yun i-skip. Kahit sinabi ni Sir na hindi po yun part ng rubrics ng COC1 demonstration. Mahalaga po yun, ha? Pero yun,
Sir, may
ang
question na po
sinasabi
ako.
ko sa inyo ay
Sir.
mag-give tayo ng emphasis dun sa mga important on the rubrics, but that doesn't mean na skip nyo yung mga hindi importante. Okay? May question po before we proceed?
Yes, sir, may question po ako.
Yes po.
Sir, if ever yung learner mo, pinaliwanag mo yung CBT na yan, yung tempo, parang mas maganda ibaba mo yung ano, ikaw yung mag-a-adjust in case na i-explain mo yung CBT na yan. Kasi ang ano po ni Tessa, di ba? Doon sa learners, kailangan ipantay mo yung mga knowledge niya doon sa papaliwanag mo ng CBT. Tama po ba?
Yes po.
So,
Sige. Yes po.
pwede po siyang i-explain into Tagalog na hanggang sa maintindihan ng ating mga learners.
Yes po. Kasi sir, ang qualification nitong nagde-demo is bookkeeping na NC3 pa. Kaya niya ini-English ng buo ito. Okay? So once
Opo,
again,
sige
the
po.
language and communication that you will use on your COC1 demonstration will depend on what is the language of communication in your qualification. Kapag ang inyong qualification ay hindi naman po English ang ginagamit na lengguwahe, pwede po kayo mag-Taglish on your COC1 demonstration. Okay? Sige po.
Salamat, sir.
Okay po. You're welcome. It just so happens po kasi na itong qualification na ito ay NC3 level at bookkeeping. Ang lengguwahe po kasi ng bookkeeping ay English dahil marami pong terminolohiya sa bookkeeping na wala pong translation or hindi po nasasalin sa Tagalog. Kaya siya, talagang English siya mag-discuss. Okay? So yun. Do or use the language that is most effective based on your qualification. Good question, sir. Sige po. Let's continue. So after the CBT principle, ang isa pong mahalaga na gagawin naman po or ipoprovide natin is the CBT process flow. So pakinggan natin kung paano nyo discuss yon. Usually after yan ng itong part na to, which is wala na sa templates ko to yung difference between traditional and competency-based training approach. Hindi ko na siya pinapa-include. Pero pakinggan pa rin natin.
Teaching, instructor focuses on managing instructions or teacher-centered, while in CBT, instructor focuses on managing learning or learner-centered. And in traditional teaching, students enter about the same time. And in CBT, students enter at various times throughout the year. So in simple context, traditional teaching is teacher-centered and CBT is learner-centered. And what are the roles of trainer? What are my roles? So I will serve as a team member to determine what is to be learned. I will also motivate you. I am your motivator. I am the facilitator of learning. I am the role model for desirable habits, attitudes, tasks, and performance. I am also the evaluator of your achievement. I am also the doctor that diagnoses and solves learning problems. And how about the roles of trainees? What are your roles? So trainees may choose how they want to learn individually, whether on one-on-one basis, in a small group, or large group. And trainees are responsible for what they learn and when they learn it. Trainees decide when they are ready to perform each task. And trainees compete against prescribed job standard and not against other students. Okay, trainees evaluate their own progress. And trainees learn according to their interests, needs, and abilities. And here's the CBT process flow chart. So when the student enters the program, the student selects the competency and receives instructions. He will also receive learning package, materials, manuals, and many other things that he needs for the training. And the instructor observes performance. The instructor rates performance. And if it is satisfactory and he became competent, he may exit the program. If not, he can go back and review and master the competency. Okay? Do you understand? So what is CBLM? Competency-based learning material is a well-designed and
So yun, that is the other important part of the orientation, no? Yung CBT process flow. Doon kasi, kung mapapansin nyo, since yun na yung proseso ng buong competency-based training, doon nyo po maipapamalas kung kayo po talaga ay nakakaintindi ng competency-based training. Pag na-explain mo ng maayos yun, meaning to say, you know the CBT process. Kasi na-explain mo nga eh. So, in order for you to actually explain it, pakinggan lang ng pakinggan yung other explanations, no? So, yung explanation ko on my sample demonstrations po. Madali lang naman siya itindihin eh. Pag alam niyo yung principle that basically the training is learner-centered, it will depend on the competencies earned and learned ng inyong mga trainees, madali nang i-discuss ang CBT process flow. So after that, yung last part of the orientation is actually the competency-based learning materials. And yun, pakinggan muna natin, then magdi-discuss tayo after that.
carefully developed learning material that give trainees detailed instructions to guide them through the learning process. So what are the contents of CBLM? First, we have the preliminary pages. And now let us focus on the most important, which are information sheet, which is the content of learning activities, the self-check, which is the immediate assessment, the answer key, which is the immediate feedback or self-check, task sheet, operation sheet, job sheet, they are all performance tests. And lastly, we have performance criteria sheet. This is where the task is being rated, the job sheet, and the performance sheet. And for the methodologies, we use self-paced or modular, demonstration or presentation, and structured learning exercise. For the monitoring tools, we have the progress chart and the achievement chart. So you can see here that we have the achievement chart and the progress chart. And we also have the training matrix. So the training matrix, this will be our guide for the whole duration of our training. Okay, so for the evaluation tools, to assess your underpinning knowledge, we use written tests and oral questioning. And to assess your underpinning skills, we use demonstration and performance test. And this is the shop layout. This is what I have shown you before. Okay, do you have questions on the orientation? None so far. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening and see you all again tomorrow.
So that concludes the first part of the COC1 demonstration, which is yung parang nagiging first day din talaga when we do when we do trainings, no? So parang ang nangyayari, yung day 1 of the training, orientation day, ganyan yung ginagawa naman talaga. At the same time, since first day din nila, dyan na rin po ginagawa yung pre-assessment na tinatawag to determine what are the current knowledge and skills of your trainees. So yung dalawang yun ang ginagawa during the first day of the training po talaga kasi. Okay? So, ang mangyayari dyan, kung naalala nyo kanina, nagkaroon siya ng feedback on the one trainee na may prior knowledge. So, sabi niya, magdala daw ng proof or evidence or any certificate daw that may say that meron siyang prior knowledge and skills dun sa kinlaim niya on the pre-training assessment tools. So, ganun siya. Yun yung first na gagawin niya rito on the day 2. Kasi 'di ba, since nakapag-provide siya ng feedback on the trainee with the prior knowledge, and sinasabi natin that it needs, of course, validating, i-validate niya yon through means of checking of the said proof at the same time institutional assessment. So pakinggan po natin.
Okay, good morning once again, trainees. How are you today? Okay, first let us have our opening prayer. Can we all stand? In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, first I would like to check your attendance. As I call your name, please say present. Mr. Cruz?
Present.
Mr. Dizon?
Present, ma'am.
Oh,
May i-reiterate lang ako no dun sa nagpa-attendance siya. Kapag ka nagtatanong siya ng anything, sumasagot po talaga yung trainee. Napakahalaga po noon. Kasi kapag ka hindi yun ginagawa ng partner trainees mo, hindi magiging realistic yung approach mo bilang trainer. Ang nangyayari, parang minsan lumalabas pa nga dyan, hindi naman sumasagot yung trainee mo, bakit mo kinompetent? Ganun yung nagiging question ng mga ibang assessors. So, of course, it would be infinitely better if your partner trainees actually, di ba, makipag-coordinate sa inyo during your demonstration. Para naman po maging realistic ang ating training, especially when it comes to providing feedback. Kasi ang turo sa atin sa competency-based training, when we provide feedbacking, it should be based on descriptive at objective behavior. So, kung wala pong ginawang demonstration na maayos ang inyong trainee, wala po kayo mapifeedback na maayos. So, pati yung feedback dapat ng inyong partner trainees when you do COC1 demonstration should be realistic para may ma-feedbackan at ma-ratean po kayo. So, kaya po para sa akin, as mentioned nga po on our earlier meetings, napakahalaga na nagkakaintindihan ikaw at ang inyong partner trainee doon sa qualification. Para kapag ka pinag-demonstrate ka kahit simulated yan, alam nilang tama yung gagawin nila. Pagka tinanong sa oral questioning, alam nila yung tamang sagot talaga doon sa tanong. Okay? Sige, let's continue po.
okay. So, Mr. Cruz, do you have your certificate or any evidence with you? It seems that your certificate is valid, but I still have to validate it through written test, demonstration, and oral questioning. Okay, now I will assign you to your workstation. So, Mr. Cruz, for the validation of your prior learning, you will be assigned at the institutional assessment area. And for Mr. Dizon,
So yun, no, yun yung proper usage of the 9 CBT areas. Banggitin mo. If you are doing institutional assessment, saan ba nag-institutional assessment? Of course, sa institutional assessment area. So yung mga nakapaskil po na yan, na 9 CBT areas, is hindi lang po yan basta props. At the very least, utilize the terminologies para maipamalas din natin sa ating mga would-be assessors for TM1 na alam natin na gamitin yung mga terminolohiya sa 9 CBT areas. Okay? Sige, let's continue. So, since ang kwento niya, since nagkaroon ng proof and evidence na or nakapag-pass ng proof and evidence yung kanyang trainee of prior knowledge, gusto pa niyang i-validate through means of institutional assessment. Which is ganoon naman talaga yung nangyayari. Ang nakalagay naman sa rubric, you should have demonstrated at least one institutional assessment. So pwede ng institutional assessment ay mangyari dito sa pagbabalidate ng prior knowledge, or pwede rin naman po na gawin ang inyong demonstration ng institutional assessment after the said training proper. Kumbaga, imbis na nagkaroon siya ng meron siyang prior knowledge, nagkaroon siya ng learning through the training proper itself. Naintindihan po yun? Anybody? Hello? Hello po? Narinig ba ako? Wala pong sumasagot. Okay, salamat po. So ito, ang pagkakaalala ko dito sa demonstration na ito ay 2 beses niya talaga gagawin yung yung institutional assessment. Dito for validation of prior knowledge, at mamaya gagawin din po niya yon for the acquired knowledge naman ng tinuruan niyang trainee. Okay, so let's continue.
Based on your pre-assessment tools, you will be assigned at the practical work area. Okay. Okay, Mr. Dison, this is our practical work area, and I want to show you a PowerPoint presentation on preparing trial balance. And here are the steps in preparing trial balance.
Okay, so ang nangyari dito, nag-skip na siya and nag-proceed na siya sa training proper. So, ang gagawin niyo dyan is yun, currently, nagbibigay muna siya ng overview of the chosen core competency, pero gagawin niya yung lahat ng methods po of the session for that specific content. So, tingnan po natin siya.
First is we have to indicate the heading, centered, the details of the trial balance, the name of the business, the term trial balance, and the date. Number 2, we have to list the open accounts and their balances. Number 3, total the debit and credit column. And number 4, double rule the total of the debit and credit columns. It means that you must put 2 lines after the amounts have been equaled and balanced. Do you understand, Mr. Dison? Okay, to further enhance your learning, I will show you a video clip.
Accounting cycle step 4. Preparation of trial balance. So tapos na tayo sa step 3, which is posting of journal entries to the ledger. Ngayon, magpo-proceed tayo sa step 4, preparation of trial balance. The trial balance is a list of all accounts with their respective debit or credit balance.
Okay, so Mr. Dison, did you understand now how to prepare trial balance? Okay, so I will show you how to do it. And this is the exercise. Prepare the trial balance of Magaling Computer Shop.
Okay, so what she actually did is provide lecture na pala yun, yung kanyang ginagawa kanina, no? Yung nag-start siya na overview, nag-lecture na siya, tapos nag-video presentation, then gagawin na niya yung demonstration as a method. So binakalimutan siya, of course, kailangan mo nang magpa-individual study before the lecture starts para kahit papaano ay may background knowledge na about, at the very least, the terminologies ang inyong mga trainees before you have the lecture. Kasi pagka super walang background siya, mahihirapan siya makipag-communicate pa during the lecture. At ang tendency po, hindi niya masyadong hindi niya masyadong makukuha, or even yung interest niya is not 100% kapag may item siya na hindi talaga naintindihan. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo before, nung tayo po ay nag-aaral pa, madalas yan, nagpapa-assignment tayo, no? Nabasahin muna tapos ile-lecture kinabukasan. Para kapag ka nag-lecture, makakapag-discussion na. Ibig sabihin, mapapag-usapan na natin kung ano yung topic. So kahit pa paano may background knowledge na, and that will elicit, of course, conversation between the trainer and the trainee. Okay? So yun, after the individual study, mag-provide ng lecture, kahit mga, excuse me, kahit mga 2 to 3 slides lang, a 2 to 3 minute lecture will do about the overview of your specific learning content. Pwede na po yun. Ang mahalaga po is you providing said method and not the method content itself. So pangatlo, nakapag-provide na rin siya no, ng video presentation. So si video presentation, all you have to do is to actually play a video pertaining or in relation to your said content or topic na gustong ipakita during your demonstration. And ang tatlong mahalaga lang po dyan is makapag-play kayo ng video, ma-full screen nyo yung video, at kung may audio po ba ang video na inyong ipepresent. Napakahalaga po nun, guys. Okay? So after that, she will proceed with the demonstration na. Let's continue.
The account balances as of December 31, 2020 is given. So now I will show you how to do it. Okay, so first, you have to focus on the exercise and see the account titles and the amounts. First, we have to put the name of the company, which is Magaling.
So I would like to reiterate that when you do have the demonstration as a method of training na, the first person that will demonstrate is the trainer. Before mo ipagawa sa kanila isang bagay, pakita mo muna kung paano siya gagawin. So, ang ginawa niya, dito niya sa whiteboard, ilalagay yung kanyang demonstration, but yung demonstration ng kanyang trainee ay dito sa papel na talaga. Okay? So, paano naman doon sa specific qualification ninyo? Depende. Ito, ginawa niya to, nasa whiteboard siya magde-demonstrate para mapakita doon sa trainee ng malaki while she is demonstrating. If your demonstration doesn't require you to write anything, kung ano yung gagamitin ng trainee na tools, materials, and equipment, doon ka magde-demonstrate na rin. At lalong-lalo na, wag pong gagawin na hangin lang po ang inyong pagde-demonstratan. Magmumukha kayong mime pag ginawa nyo yun. So it should be realistic. Okay? Kung cookery yan, prepare sandwiches, dapat may ingredients ka talaga ng sandwich at gagawa ka talaga ng sandwich. Eh sir, paano naman po kung for example, cookery po yung aking napili nga po no, na qualification. Eh, tagal po magluto, sir. Hindi naman necessary na kung sinabing magluto ni sir ay magluto ka talaga na kalahating oras dyan. So, ang gawin natin, katulad ng ginagawa sa mga cooking show, basically, ang cooking show, since limited time lang sila, mag-simulate lang sila ng pag-cook, may finished product. Since time-bounded din tayo. Once again, ang mahalaga po dito is the completeness and yung physical na presence ng inyong pagde-demonstrate. Yung produkto, dapat hindi hangin yung produkto. Naintindihan po? Thumbs up nga po kung naintindihan. Parang wala nang nakikinig, wala nang nagta-thumbs up. Ayan. Salamat po, salamat po. Let's continue.
Sana naintindihan po.
Computer shop. And the heading, which is trial balance, and the date as of December 31, 2020. Now, we will list the accounts. First is we have 101, which is cash. Next is 102, which is accounts receivable. 103 is equipment. 201 is accounts payable. 301 is capital. 401 is service revenue. 501 is supplies expense. And 502 is salaries expense. Now, we will put their amounts. This is the debit and this is the credit. For cash, we have 181,000. Accounts receivable, we have 15. And side capital, 30,000. You will, okay, do you understand now, Mr.
I-skip ko na yung demonstration niya kasi mahaba yan. But the main point is realistic niyang ginawa ang demonstration. So from start to finish. Okay? Kung hindi kaya ng realistic yan na real time, pwede ka mag-skip-skip. Pero yung whole process, ipakita mo kahit pa paputol-putol. Okay? So yun, inuulit ko, when you do demonstration as a method, the first na mag-demonstrate is the trainer followed by the trainee. Okay? Tapos yan, since nakapag-demonstrate na siya, tatanungin niya ngayon si trainee, are you ready for the demonstration? And while the trainee is demonstrating, ang role ni trainer ay mag-observe at mag-rate. Tignan natin kung paano niya gagawin.
Cruz. So can you do the next activity? Prepare the trial balance of Masipag Recruitment. The account balances as of June 30 is given. So I will give you your paper. You want to answer on this paper? And do you want to do your output in the computer? You may proceed to the computer laboratory, but if you want to do it in here, you can stay. Okay? Okay, you're done. May I see your output? Okay, Mr. Cruz, you were able to put the heading, the account codes, and the list of account titles, but you forgot the normal balances of some accounts. Okay, so Mr. Dison,
So, ang nangyari po is yun, inobserve na niya yung trainee na nagde-demonstrate, and since output-based yung demonstration, chinek niya yung mismong output. Tapos, she already did provide the feedback na, at kung mapapansin nyo, the way she provided the feedback, pinuri muna niya ng positive points, tsaka bumanat ng however. Meaning to say, meron pang areas for improvement. Okay? Then, of course, she will provide recommendation. At of course, para din magprogreso ang inyong COC1 demonstration, ang magiging resulta ng demonstration na ito ay satisfactorily performed. Ibig sabihin, natutunan na niya yung content po na ito. At the same time, yung learning outcome at yung core competency. Since nakapag-progress na siya at may natutunan siyang bago, imo-monitor ito ni trainer. Pupunta siya doon sa progress chart at i-reflect niya doon yung progress.
you need to practice more, and you will stay here at the practical work area. And when you master and practice preparation of trial balance and you are ready for the institutional assessment, please call my attention and we will proceed to the institutional assessment area. And you may find me at the Trainers Resource Center or area if you have questions. Okay? But if you want to do your output in the computer, you can proceed to the computer laboratory. Okay? Thank you. Institutional assessment. Okay, Mr. Cruz. For the validation of your prior learning, I am going to give you written test, demonstration, and oral question.
So, since in-skip niya yung institutional assessment earlier, dito niya ipapakita yan. Yung proper processing of the institutional assessment. So once again, institutional assessment would be conducted per core competency if a certain trainee has deemed satisfactory performed yung core competency na yun. Kasi that is the last validation of the said core competency within the training period. So pagka pumasa ng institutional assessment, magkakaroon po siya ng certificate of achievement for that specific core competency. At kung lahat ng competency po ay na-cover na niya, basically, end of training na. Na-learn na po niya kasi lahat ng required competencies of a specific qualification. Pwede na siyang mag-end of training, gumraduate, at mag-undergo ng national assessment. So, yun po yung purpose ng institutional assessment. So, pakita natin or tignan natin kung paano niya i-handle yung institutional assessment.
For your written test, here is a 30-item test. I want you to answer this in 30 minutes. You may start now. Okay, you're done. Can I have your paper? So for your demonstration, I will give you the journal entries of Silver Company. Can you post them to their corresponding books of accounts? Okay, you're done. Thank you. And for your oral questioning, here is my question. What are the steps in posting transactions to the general ledger, or what we call the book of the final entry? Okay, please give me a moment to check your answers. Okay, Mr. Cruz, you've got 26 out of 30 in the written test. And for your demonstration, you were able to post the transactions to their books of accounts. And for the oral questioning, you answered the question appropriately and accurately according to the prescribed standards. And for that, for all the evidences that I have gathered, I found you competent in the level of competency, which is posting transactions. And I will award you your certificate of achievement. Congratulations, and we will proceed to the contextual laboratory area to upgrade your progress chart and achievement chart. Okay, so this is complete and complete. Okay, Mr. Cruz, you may now proceed to the next level of competency, which is the preparation of trial balance. Can you proceed to the learner's resource area for the CBLM and answer the self-check and compare your answers to the answer key? If you have questions, just ask me. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Dizon, how is your practice? Good. Okay. Are you ready now for the institutional assessment? Okay, can we move now to the institutional assessment area? Okay, Mr. Dizon, this is our institutional assessment area. You will undergo written test, demonstration, and oral questioning. Okay, for the written test, here is the 30-item question. Can you please answer this in 30 minutes? You may start now. Okay, you're done. Can I have the paper? And for your demonstration, given are the list of account titles and general ledger of Golden Company. Can you please prepare trial balance as of June 30, 2021? Okay, are you done? Can I have the paper? And for your oral questioning, what is the importance of preparing trial balance? Okay, Mr. Dizon, please give me some couple of minutes to check your answers. Okay, Mr. Dizon, based on your written exam, you answered all the questions correctly. And in the demonstration, you've got 19 over 20. And in the oral questioning, you were not confident in answering the questions, but your answers were all correct. And with that, I found you competent. And I am now awarding you your certificate of achievement. And we will upgrade your progress chart and your achievement chart. Okay, so... Okay, Mr. Dizon, can you please come back tomorrow for your post-test? Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. How are you today? Okay, so congratulations. You have done all your competencies in bookkeeping NC3. Now I will give you your post-test. Here's the specific instruction for your post-test. Can you read it? Okay, can I have now your post-test? You are done. And now I will give you the trainee evaluation.
So basically, magpo-provide ka ng proper institutional assessment sa kanya, which consists of the written test, demonstration, and of course, you will ask oral questioning then. So napakalaga po that when you ask oral questioning or provide questions sa inyong partner trainee, ay sasagot po siya dapat talaga. In that way kasi, makapag-provide ka ng feedback kung tama or mali ba yung kanya naging sagot. So dapat naririnig din ng assessors po ninyo yung sagot ng inyong mga trainees. So better nga kung for example, during the length of your COC1 demonstration, when for example mag-spiel ka ng do you have any questions, may sasagot talaga na partner trainee mo, sasagot talaga ng none sir or none ma'am. Para lang magkaroon ng realistic approach yung inyong COC1 demonstration. So parang nag-uusap talaga kayo, hindi lang siya nandun para maging partner mo. So since lahat naman po kayo at ang magiging partner trainees nyo ay magiging candidates during the national assessment, magtulungan na lang po kayo. Napakahalaga po nun. And of course, after all of the institutional assessment methods ay may deliver mo na, magpo-provide ka ng feedback. So yung pag-provide po ng feedback would be sandwich method pa rin, positive points followed by areas for improvement, and lastly, recommendations. Pero I would suggest and it would be better for you to actually provide feedback for each of the method. So magsa-sandwich method ka for written, magsa-sandwich method ka for demo, and for oral questioning. Pwede kahit mga simpleng sagot lang naman or a single sentence for each will do. Mas maganda po kasing practice yun na all of the methods, since all of the methods has each positive and negative performances on their end, feedbackan mo lahat. Napakahalaga po kasi nun. Okay? And lastly, of course, you will deem the overall performance of the institutional assessment to be satisfactory and competent na siya. And lalapit ka doon sa monitoring tool, sa progress chart, at doon mo makikita na, uy, last core competency mo na pala ito. Ito-take mo doon sa progress chart, na check ka na doon sa core competency na yon, and since that is your last core competency, I can now endorse you for the ending of the program and for the national assessment. But before you leave, please answer itong dalawang huling binanggit niya, no? Yung post-test, para makita mo naman as a trainer yung improvement nung inyong tinuruan from day 1, from start to finish. And itong next na ibibigay niya is what we call the training session evaluation form. So parang ipapa-evaluate ka bilang trainer, magpapa-evaluate si training center, tools, materials, resources, even the support and admin staff of the said training center. In that way, the evaluation form po kasi will help you improve on what it can be improved basically on the training center. Ikaw bilang trainer, facilities, tools, materials, resources. That would be the last part of the COC1 demonstration. Panoorin natin.
Form. Please fill out this form. The purpose of the evaluation is to identify the areas of improvement of the training center and also for us, your trainers. Okay, you're done. Please pass. Thank you. Okay, so once again, congratulations for completing all the competencies in bookkeeping NC3. I now recommend you to take the national assessment. Please visit your office, provincial office of TESDA, and bring your passport size pictures and the assessment fee. Okay, and please do keep posted on the schedule, and I suggest that you take the national assessment when you are ready.
And that would be it for the COC1 demonstration.